bringing out the Akali, said, I can't do the Zed anymore. Gotta try and make a play happen. Gotta try and turn it around and try and go for that reverse sweep. It's got to start somewhere, and it could start here in Game 3 as Inspire are looking down the barrel of what could be their final game of the Pentaboom Showdown.
Stakes are high for Inspire. They're looking to try and at least take this game away and hopefully bring the momentum to help them win the next two after that. Whereas VOLLEY, this could be the end. They're just looking to try and close out this game. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be the best game. They just have to win. And so their strategies at this point, I would imagine, are going to be a lot more aggressive. They're going to have a little bit more cheese factor, some things that they wouldn't otherwise do. Mid lane already looking like an assortment of trades back and forth between both mid laners.
Yeah, just said, I'm coming out with Fury right now. This level 1, I'm going for a kill. Was close to trying to take down Twisted Fate, but MSUONG able to just stay alive here. But already, I'm liking that early aggression, trying to say, all right, you know what? I'm going to try and beat you to that level 6, try and make a play happen. We'll have to see. Because, again, once level 6 is hit, that Destiny gets unlocked for the Twisted Fate, and that's when we usually get to see a bunch of rotations. And interesting enough, too, you thought it was rough having the Akali up in the top lane. Now we actually just get the Yasuo instead. And if we see anything as far as the mechanics go, this could be equally an insane display coming out here from Team VOLLEY.
We don't even have to hit 6, right, Opal? We just have to hit 5, and the Destiny's already unlocked, and it starts activating the Twisted Fate to go between both lanes. You bring the Lee Sin involved, there's no way to stop knockup. The Unstoppable Force is the only tool this Malphite has to try and counterplay against this Lee Sin's kick, and if they miss it, that moment is probably going to be the instant death for Malphite, right? So very critical spell to be used, very critical timing. So it's a huge skill matchup. I'm looking forward to see what happens.
And you saw there, again, more little trades here and there coming out from Jess, just not able to land those Qs. Very close to connecting, but again, like you mentioned, now sitting on level 4, Destiny comes up on the next level, but still, that damage coming out. Again, nice combo. And this is what we kind of need to see from Jess. We need to see a bit more lane dominance, but that Lee Sin is lurking in the wings, looking for a possible play. They did spot out the other jungle, though, and there is that Olaf just pathing through. Is going to get caught out here as Lee Sin just going to dash away, does not have any energy, so cannot look for any further trades coming out in that jungle.
And Olaf is traditionally a jungler that has pretty decent sustain once he picks up a couple of items, but maybe in the early levels has a little bit of trouble with the camps. So, just dishing out a little bit of damage onto him kind of slows him out down a little bit. It's not a lot, but with these kind of small interactions, these small trades, they can compound into something meaningful. I want to also talk about the Seraphine pickup. Seraphine has been a champion that hasn't seen much love in this competition. Maybe because it's partly new, maybe because it doesn't seem to have the kind of impact that a lot of teams otherwise want. The charm is a little bit of a different effect compared to the stun that maybe something like a Sona would have, which surprisingly has been quite popular. But even with all those factors combined, Seraphine has huge range, can empower her ADC so well. And when you're pairing that up with a Jhin, this long-range synergy, this long-range combo gives you the means to dish out damage for a far distance without being at much risk. So honestly, it works really well, especially when you're going up against a Blitzcrank, which has the potential to perhaps go in for his knockdown.
I already see that level 5 Destiny pop looking for a play here. Looking toward possibly the bot side of the map, but instead opts just to use it to get a little bit of just map presence, you could say. Try and force those side lanes to just kind of back off.
They killed Jess because he was in Shroud, and they used the Destiny to find out where he was in the Shroud.
There you go. I just didn't get to see the kill announcement, but there you go. First blood coming out, and just like that, we said, "Oh, there's your answer." Unfortunately, not the case. A nice hook though into the Seraphine ultimate, able to get that charm off, but still that damage rolling on through. Seraphine going down pretty low. In comes the heal. Is it going to be enough? Cindy steps on forward, has the slow available. Not a whole lot of mana left for the Jhin, but they are going to go ahead and back off as the first dragon of the game spawns at 4 minutes.
Even after all of that, they still weren't able to get the kill on the Seraphine. That's really discouraging over on the side of Inspire. When you lose out on the opportunity for a kill like that there, you kind of don't have many other chances. The fact that Seraphine was even in a position to get hooked in the first place is a rare occurrence. The range on that champion is just way too far. It's very difficult, and she can hit you from behind the minion wave, so you constantly have to be dealing with this issue. Meanwhile, up top side, the Yasuo has established full control. constantly shoving it in the Mel fight. You have an easy matchup. Now you just have to translate this into the next portion, and you look at this. MSUONG making his way up into the top side right now. They're looking for his catch.
Ooh, that's a nice ultimate, though, coming out from the Malphite, and that's actually able to interrupt any possible play. That's actually a rather nice job coming out from the top side of Inspire. Able to keep themselves alive, and you also have that Olaf waiting in the wings, maybe looking for a play of their own.
You use an unstoppable force, but it just means on MSUONG's side that he was able to expand that ultimate from the enemy and without having to commit all too much for himself. So now the team has that little bit of an advantage. Yasuo a lot safer for at least this next minute or so. Even if he comes back into lane, even if he's looking to dish out a bit more damage to the turret, not in much risk to just see the Malphite all in him and really go down hard. The Malphite, I've seen a lot of their builds so far in this game, don't really stack too much cooldown reduction. So a lot slower to reach a point where they're going to be able to spam the ultimate. I think we see the Iceborne Gauntlet, though. So that's a nice change up, right? So Iceborne Gauntlet gets a little bit more cooldown. Means they're going to be able to find this a little bit more often.
See here, though, is immediately... We've yet to see this Olaf try and actually gank into one of these lanes. So you saw Cindy and the Blitzcrank just waiting about. Ultimate is considered, but instead it's just going to be that hawk shot being used. Just want to see where this Lee Sin could be pathing through the map, and not able to find it, as Rift Herald now on the map for taking if one of these teams wish to start it up. But instead, it looks like the rotate might come out for the strike. They're considering it, but they just don't want to lose out on this experience. It's getting crashed into the wave.
Going back to try and pick up this little bit of experience, the Dragon is, of course, that big objective to look out for right now. That being said, mid lane, wow.
Oh, no, and that is just the issue faced as the Akali. Lee Sin can catch you out. Destiny can even be used. Wasn't even used in this situation. And now that's 2 kills going on over to VOLLEY via the mid lane. That's looking a little dire here. We'll see whether or not they can turn around on the side of Inspires. Instead, Dragon going to be started. Looks like they're still having a second decision here, but they go forward. Again, the Olaf going to get caught out. Doesn't even have time to use the ultimate as they get taken down. In comes the Destiny Pop going immediately back into the mid lane to get that experience, as well as the Dragon secured by the side of Team VOLLEY.
Was perhaps looking to use the Destiny, trying to go down to the bot lane and try and push them away, perhaps give a little bit of help over to the side of the VOLLEY bot lane, just so that they could get a little bit more pressure, a little bit more control there. Ultimately decides to go back into the mid lane. I mean, that was just a great setup. Great setup, great execution, great place. They made the decision to opt for the Dragon early-ish, right? It's still about 7 minutes in, so it's a little bit delayed for this Dragon, but they went for the Dragon nonetheless. They did it with great timing and were able to take down the enemy jungler. The Olaf got caught off without using the Ragnarok, which is a huge tragedy. Huge tragedy.
Yeah, unfortunately, just didn't have the time, it seemed, to actually pop that Ragnarok, like you mentioned, and that's a feels bad. We do see Rift Herald is up and available. VOLLEY could collapse to it. Instead, though, it says, all right, hey, I just want to go on back to base. That Bork was already completed, too, as well for the Yasuo. So that's a nice little boost, especially going up in that lane up against the Malphite. Unfortunately, if the Yasuo is able to maintain or even get ahead, it's a rough time. And, oh, no, they are just bullying JESS in the mid lane, as that's another gank. And the third kill being secured by the jungle mid duo.
Now moving their way over to the bot side, looking for this catch onto the Blitzcrank, and tons of CC coming through.
Oh, Destiny also popped. Not able to find the kill, but you saw that tower went down, and they're just going for the dive. They don't even care because the curtain call is used, and there you are. Tower now going to be just targeted here. On top of that, too, Rift Herald was secured. The Malphite was killed. The Olaf went down, just trying to salvage the situation, but they just can't do enough here. As VOLLEY, not even waiting for that 10-minute mark, starting to run rapid across this rift. 0 and 7 the kill count.
And we already see the rapid-fire cannon from MSUONG on the Twisted Fate. You hate to see it. The long-range stun card comes out from half a screen away, a full screen away. You get stunned, you get hit by the Lee Sin, you get hit by the Jet. All of these spells that come consecutively and are able to work in tandem. Great execution on the team composition. Now you just look at this Rift Herald abusing this turret. The top lane broken open once again. Olaf flashing away. Destiny being proc. They are hunting for kill after kill, but are reluctant to chase too deep as they pick up the chances there.
That's 2 turrets taken across the map. They also get a 3rd charge from Shelly onto the inhibitor tower. Mid lane 2nd tier towers being taken down. And just the fact that they have been able to do just this, it's disgusting coming out here from Team Volley. That's going to be tawer taken on down. The Lee Sin gets back over to safety. Malphite ultimate not used just yet. Might have been used as a safety ploy. But there you go. That's now 5 towers taken across the map. The 6th one just barely standing in that bot lane. Dragon coming up in about 45 seconds. It's 7-0. And Volley, they're looking unstoppable. And they're looking like they could be your champions of Pentaboom.
You know, Opal, I kind of feel like we've jumped back in time a little bit. We've gone back to the days where coaches would watch over the shoulders of their players and kind of go, yeah, you know what, guys, go for this play right now. Oh, looks like Dragon might be open. You know, Baron looks pretty tasty. It looks pretty succulent. I kind of feel like we've gone back in those times.
I hope we haven't, because I don't know if that's technically allowed right now, Brandon, so let's not be saying stuff like that. As, oh, that hook coming out! That's from a screen away! Do they finally take him down? The GA, though, is instead popped. Looking for the knock-up, not able to find it. The Yasuo able to get a decent amount of damage. The Akali finishes off the kill, but at what cost? As now the Ashe is going to get taken on down. Destiny popped as well, looking for the possible play if they want to try and get themselves back on over to safety, going down pretty low. Does get taken on down, but guess what? The Yasuo is able to clean house once more, and it is a bloodbath, a triple kill coming out for the side of Volley. Inspire, though, they are able to finally get themselves on the board and prevent a perfect game from coming through on the side of Volley.
Volley at this point, they've picked up every objective they needed to. They picked up all the, rather than say they picked up all the tools they needed to start winning these fights. That was a nice hook, a nice setup to get Inspire back into the game. But now that Dragon is up, that now that Baron is up, there just aren't any ways for Inspire to start looking to try and contest this. You can see that the Malphite somewhat nearby, but Dragon's already being started up. You can't really intercept this, and now with this Yasuo in range, looking to try and prevent you from going for this, the Ragnarok going to be used, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough.
Doesn't look like it's going to be enough there as the Olaf gets taken on down. Kern Call also being used, and there's your chase. There's your double knockup. Beautifully done here. Coming out once more, and poor Jess forced to go into the Zonias. They are just piling in. Perfect execution, could be able to get themselves back over to safety, but the push is coming in now onto the inhibitor tower, and things at the moment, you got 2 members down, the wave crashing in onto the base, and now they have to deal with supers, but it does not look like Volley wished to slow down. Instead, they turn tail and look to set up toward the Baron.
We're able to pick that up and now are looking at this big objective. Baron is going to be the final nail in the coffin. For Inspired, they don't have many ways to prevent this. The previous times, Dylan was at least on the move, had some form of gap closer to get in and look for the steal, but right now, too far away with no available options. Just going to have to concede that away. And now it's up to Volley. Balls in their court. How they end off this game. Whether or not they end off this game in the next few minutes, or if they make a throw, if they make a mistake, still up to be seen.
And there you go. Things looking dire here. I wish I could say I have hope, and there might be still just a slimmer of hope for Inspire. But again, you need that massive turnaround. You need that massive play. You need to take that 10-90 ratio. Coin flip, whether or not it's going to work, you don't know. It's heavily against you. But something has to be done if they wish to hold, because Volley now in position to close out this game on the next fight.
And naturally, you want the Ashe to be able to dish out a lot of damage. You want the Akali to be very strong and win these team fights for your team. But frankly, they just weren't in a position to be able to do so. Jess had a good laning phase, was able to finally take down MSUONG, put him in his place, but couldn't get a solo kill. And that was about the name of the game. The Akali couldn't get ahead, couldn't pick up any kills, and that was the main difference between every game we see from Volley. Akali got ahead, Akali got fed, picked up a couple of items, shred through the enemy team, and this time around, the fact that Jess wasn't able to do so is just a huge problem. He's not at the place where they want to be. Volley have scaled way too far ahead.
And there you go. Second tower on the bot side of the map being taken here. And now positioning themselves. Current call being used. And it might just be curtains here on this match as again they go in for the dive. It's going to be underneath the nexus. There's your double knockup into the double last whisper. And there you go. The final breath. Just enough, but still not enough it seems here on the side of Inspire. They try and go for the big play, but your Pentaboom Showdown champions is Team VOLLEY from Vietnam.
Huge congratulations to Team VOLLEY picking up the overall win of the Pentaboom Showdown. The lion's share of 66,000 US dollars and 5 shares. I already see some secret left shares, so it's time